Here we're gonna change light switch. Let's go ahead and remove the plate, and we're gonna be changing these to the Decora. Now, first things first, I've already turned off the breaker that corresponds to this particular switch for safety purposes. That said, this should be done by a licensed electrician, since there could be consequences if things get done wrong. By the way, I like doing this like that because I don't like going on the side and potentially messing up the wall. And I try to go around the side little by little to see if it just pops off, because if sometimes you give it too much pressure and it's hard, it's because there's paint attached to it, and you pull and you rip paint out, and then you gotta come and do touch up. So try to go like that little by little. If that doesn't work, get a blade and cut very tight against to remove any paint that could be holding down that wall plate, the receptacle plate. Yeah, I'm removing now these screws with my favorite tip, which is the Robertson, the square. I mention this all the time because I hate using the Phillips or the flathead, which are the other alternatives, since these screws, along with these here, have all three head types. You could go Phillips, flathead, or the square. And I explain this all the time in my videos, why I like the square. Flathead, unless you're turning, to slide off. The Phillips, you don't give a lot of pressure and it's really tight. It jumps and strips, where the square just goes and digs into there, and in my opinion, is the best. Now these things, in this case, these wires, they didn't put them around the bolt. They used this kind of push connect here, which sucks because to take them out, usually they don't want to come on. And yes, there's a little pin there that you can push through and release it. Good luck with that. That rarely ever wants to work, and it's a pain. So guess what? I got a lot of extra wire there. I'm just gonna cut, and it's done. And now I'll go ahead and strip it back a little bit here. And because I have an uncomfortable position to use the tool properly, I'm just doing the cut, and then I'm pulling with the tip, and not like normally I would. And I'll show you what I mean now. What the heck is going on here? Normally I just pull from here, but I'm in an awkward position, especially with the camera on the way. Let me straighten this out because the tip is crooked. So that's why I'm doing it like this, and now twisting it and pulling it out. Oh, guess I didn't cut deep enough. There it goes. Now to bend, you're a professional, you know where to grab it and turn the specific amount that you need. But other than that, there's also a little hole here that you can stick it in and bend it. And it kind of gives you the size. Now let me get the switch we're going to use there. Open this new package. We're changing these to Decora today. And we're going to go ahead. I'm going to put the hot on the gold. And by the way, you follow your building code, whatever it requires. Here's the way it is here. Let me turn it, because another thing is that I got to mention to you, you want to do it the right way, is that this goes clockwise. Don't put it counterclockwise, because as you try to tighten it, kind of pulls it the opposite direction. Even though if you It won't really mean a lot if you do what I'm doing also, that I crimp up the end of the wire. But if you don't crimp the end of the wire and you do it counterclockwise, it's a disaster. It starts to like unravel on you. Here I'm just trying to grab the tip here to close it up against the bolt, which I just did. Now I could come back over here and tighten this up. And I come at the end and tighten it by hand. I know everybody doesn't do it like that. It's just the drill most of the time. But I like to give it the right amount of torque, what I feel is correct. And now, find where it's top, goes up, which usually most manufacturer means the cables are to your right. Oh, let me get this out of the way. This ground is not being used, just screw it in. That's just good housekeeping there. And this is gonna work perfectly. Do a little bit of the first one, just to not have them, bind up. So you do one first. And let me see. I see it a little bit crooked to the left. It's because the wires in the back are manipulating it. So before you tighten it up, you want to have it as even as possible. Because if not, these screws ain't gonna make. It'll pull it in, but it ain't gonna keep it straight. It'll be crooked. And still, should have done it some more. Still a little bit crooked there. Let me see. You see? I can tell. Let's see if it's enough that it's going to make a difference. But yeah, those wires in the back, if you don't accommodate everything and push it in and kind of make it settle perfectly, they end up making your receptacle a little bit like, instead of flat, a little angle. And then you can see here, once you put it on, it makes a big difference and it looks ugly. We'll check it now and see how this came out. If it's too much of a difference, I'll take the screws out and again manipulate a little bit those wires in there in the opposite direction so it could not give me this issue. By the way, I'm not putting the coral covers that have the bolts here. I'm going with the boltless system, which takes this on there first. The reason I'm skipping that step now is because I want to see if it's going to come out even or not. And it's not. If you notice here, probably can't tell in the video that much, but over here it's even, and on this side it's indentured in. So it's not going to be nice. Not the way I like it. So out we go. And we'll bend it. And that could also be, sometimes not just the wires pulling wrong, the box cannot be sitting right, which is what I'm going to look at now to make sure. But the wires do that all the time. But look, in this case also, the box actually is sitting. It's not flat. It's flush here, and over here it's more in. So that sucks when that happens. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to counter do that opposite, and I'm going to let it go in at this angle so that the wires are helping me pushing out this way. And that might fix the problem there. So now the tension of the wires are pulling opposite of the direction of this box. So the box is, instead of flat, is like this, and my wires are going to be pushing like that. And if that doesn't work, then the only other last alternative I have is to put some spacers in the back. I wish this might work. I'm going to give it a shot. Let's see if it looks better now. It is better, but, and if you're wondering, why not just put some screws, push it back and screw it to the side? Because there's nothing here. the beam is only going to be always on one side or the other. In this case, it's over here where that stud is. So barely any electricians from the building houses, they use that specific attachment that lets you hold the box better. Basically, they just put the box towards the side and that's it, which sucks because things like this happen. Now, let's see what we do here. So you slip a little outlet change like this for someone that likes things to be right. Complicates things somewhat. Now, one other solution that I'll tell you that's a simple one is to get a multi-tool, with the, that has the little saw in the front that just vibrates back and forth, the isolating saw. Actually, that's what it's called, not a multi-tool, but the isolating saw. And come from whatever's sticking out and eat that perimeter of plastic. I've actually done that, and that works 100% of the time. Thing is, do I want to walk to the shop to get that multi-tool for this stupidity? So that's the question. Or do I rig it up? And I'll show you what I mean by rigging it up. On the side that's pushed back, I'm going to put, instead of a whole spacer that pushes the whole thing, use the spacer only on the left. And that should straighten me out. For the sake of this video, even though the for sure thing is to get the isolating saw, but to show you that this little hack in case you don't have an isolating saw, let's do it this way. Let's do the little hack. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove one of the spacers from here, because this is for when the boxes are, dug back, and I have other videos on it. And basically, this thing sinks in too much, the receptacle. You put these, but this makes it even. It just pushes it out evenly. Doesn't do the curves. However, let me get one of them off. However, if I cut it in half and just leave it on one side, it'll do the trick. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut, and I can't cut it in half. I have to leave a little piece of the side that I'm taking off so that it could hold on. So basically, it's going to be very close to half, but not quite. I'll show you now. You see? I took most of it. So that part that's missing, which is on my hand, it's going to be the part going that way, which is what's popped out. So the thick part is going to be towards indentured back. Like this. And that wraps around that bolt. Now I'm going to get another one. And these things don't have to be cut off with snips or nothing. You can just turn it, and they come off also. I just did it with these side cutters because I happen to have them right here next to me, but that you could do by hand. I'm doing the same thing for the bottom part that I took off. It's going to go towards there because that's why I don't need anything popping out. All right. Stick these in there. And let me get the screwdriver ready. Let me put it here. Make sure it's straight. Because since it's only half, it's going to try to swing one way. At least the bottom one, because it does have nothing to set onto like the top one does. That's why I'm keeping my finger back there to keep it in place as long as I can. I'm taking it out my finger little by little as I go, just to try to keep it in place there as long as possible. And this one, Look, it turned on me. Even though I had somewhere to sit, I spun it.
Subscribe.
What'd you say, Joshy?
Subscribe.
Oh, no, but you're too close to the camera. Stand over here.
Subscribe.
And what else? Hold on, let me back up.
Subscribe and comment down below.
That's right. All right. My son there. So we're almost there. He's on his way.
When is he coming to the house?
I think so. It's trying to spin on me since it's only half of the little spacer, you know. Let me hold it down with that. I'm gonna have to get a screwdriver there. Skinny one here to hold that. It just wants to rotate since it's missing the other leg, you know. But this is a little hack for when you have them sideways. Because of the box. If it's the box is straight and it's the cable's doing, you just gotta manipulate it and it'll work its way. Okay. Looking good. But hold on. Let me go back a little bit because see why I don't like using Phillip? How it jumps once it's tight. I just give it a lot of pressure. But I just used it because I was previously using it. I didn't change it back. Let's see. So now it actually is somewhat better, at least 50% better. Yeah, it's gonna work now. It did even it out some. But the best thing is the saw, the oscillating saw. That's what it's called. Multi-tool oscillating saw. Hey, why is that not catching? Oh look, I'm not paying attention. This is one of the ones that is directional. It has up and down because a lot of them that I've been putting today are not. It could go either way, up and down, because I got from two different boxes. Some of these things are designed that they could go either way because they have the notch that's supposed to go down on both sides. This one only has it on one side, and that notch has to go down. Here we go. Why is this top piece feeling like it's not going in all the way? Oh, I scratched the paint there. Damn it. So I know what it is. I think I over tightened it too much. And that creates a warping that doesn't allow this to click right. See? It should have been clicking there. But sometimes, again, it gets warped. Let me go back a little bit. Go back. That should be good there. Why is it playing with me here? You see that gap on the top? But I think I know why that gap is. It's just the back plate. Let me put it in some more. And I'm gonna have to touch up that paint. That sucks. Normally, this is just a put on and clip, but this one wants to play games. And that's all the way already. Yeah, it's just that spacer that I put goes a little bit too much. Like if it would have been a little bit short, it would have been better than a little bit extra. And I noticed from the beginning that it was popping out that receptacle a little bit. But I thought, well, maybe we'll make a difference, you know, it's gonna kind of cover it up. But I'm glad this happened because it's just to show that everything doesn't, you know, when you see people doing this stuff online and showing you how to do it, everything comes out perfect all the time. And that's bull. It doesn't work like that. There's a bunch of times that things don't turn out right, and that's a little bit of an issue. And this is a perfect example. So the reason it's staying away some is because the spacer was a little bit too much, and I kind of felt that at the beginning because this is almost right there at the edge. But yeah, so it did make a difference. So the right thing would be, honestly, here, the only solution is to get that isolating saw and cut some around, or just let it be with that minor imperfection that I'm just being picky about, because that box is not going to stay back. You see that? So the isolating saw there, it's going to be it. What's crazy is there's more on the top here and the side, but not down here. I wonder, let's just do this for educational purposes and give it a shot, because again, if I just want to get this done, the answer is simple. Look at the isolating saw and get it over with. But let's play around here a little bit. Let's see if, since it's not a lot that I have to do, if it's possible to just do it with this, cut this plastic. Or if it's too hard. Never tried this before. But it's the first time for everything. So it took some off. That seems to be working. But then again, I have also, on top of everything, no clearance here to put my knife how I need to put it because of this bookshelf. So let's see, at this poor angle that I have, if I can do anything. And by the way, I'm sure there's places that building code don't allow you to do this. So this might not be allowed. But I'm the sheriff in this town. Ain't that good, huh? I'm the sheriff in town. And it's working, actually. So I guess if you don't have oscillating saw, you can get away with the blade. And I'm struggling a lot more than you should be. Again, because I have this wall here that's not letting me do it at the proper angle, and I'm having to cut deeper at an angle, more like that than what I really need to cut to get what I need at the corner. So, damn it, scratched all the way up here. Definitely have to retouch here. A bunch of things. Messing things up. And actually, I should cut this out of the video because this was an error on my part. It was popping out here, and the only thing that was going to affect would have been this plate, or a regular plate from, you know, being a little bit crooked, which would have made probably almost no difference. The only thing really that I needed to cut was this part right here, because it's what's pushing this here. So that was probably not necessary. But I'm not going to cut it out because y'all got to see that we all make mistakes, and Try and error. Don't think things. How do you say it? Don't think things thoroughly sometimes, and we just miss some steps or do some things wrong. Let's see. Where's that plate cover at? See how it looks. Definitely a little bit better. But now I really could use that advantage of the wires, which I lost it because of putting it in and out. Let me try it again. What I mean is by flexing the box that way. Not the box, the receptacle. How's this going to be now? It's going to be nice. Is it going to play nice? It'll be a pain. Let's see. Let's see how this works out now. Damn. It's pretty flush. No, and in the back, yep, that'll work. So this is a video showing you how things don't work out perfect all the time, and now I have to be touching up. But there you go. Like, subscribe, leave me a message, and I'll get back to you if you have any opinion or comments on this. And I'll see you on the next one.